When I first heard that King Charles felt drawn toward Mecca, I didn't laugh it off, but I didn't fully believe it either. Not because he couldn't go, but because men born into crowns rarely walk toward places where crowns mean nothing. A lifetime of titles, protocol, and power usually builds walls, not questions. And yet, everything about this journey suggested something deeper. This wasn't politics, this wasn't symbolism, this was restlessness, the kind that creeps in when privilege answers everything except the soul. For years, quietly, he studied Islam away from cameras, reading, listening, asking questions that unsettled him more than they comforted him. And one evening, after a long walk beneath the Scottish sky, he reportedly said something simple that changed everything. If truth is one, I need to see where 1 billion people bow to it. That wasn't a royal statement, that was a human one. The arrangements were made without noise. Mecca is not a destination you visit, it's a place you approach. And for someone like King Charles, stepping there meant leaving privilege behind. The day he departed, London was wrapped in grey, the kind of sky that reminds you how small you are beneath heaven. No velvet, no medals, just simplicity and a man carrying questions heavier than any crown. When his plane descended over the Saudi desert, witnesses say he fell silent. The horizon stretched endlessly, ancient and unmoved, making palaces feel temporary. And perhaps for the first time, he thought, all my life people have bowed to me. Now it's my turn to bow. In Mecca, footsteps are confessions. Charles arrived carrying centuries of empire and expectation, but Mecca doesn't recognize lineage, it only recognizes sincerity. Dressed in the simple white cloth of Ihram, there were no guards, no announcements, no distance, just a man among millions. He watched pilgrims circle the Kaaba, thousands moving in perfect unison, chanting words older than kingdoms. And that's when it struck him. Real power doesn't come from control, it comes from surrender. An aide later said, he whispered, almost shaken, "This place is alive." And in that moment he wasn't a king, he was a man stripped down to his essence. If Judge Caprio were watching, you could hear his calm, unmistakable voice cutting through the moment. That's what justice looks like. Everyone equal. No titles, no exceptions. Standing before the Kaaba, Charles didn't move for a long time. People around him cried, prayed, trembled. Some say he wept too. I believe it, because truth doesn't knock politely, it breaks you open. And right there he understood something no royal upbringing ever taught him. Greatness isn't measured by what you rule, but by what you revere. Then came Medina. If Mecca burns away the ego, Medina heals what's left. The city felt softer, gentler. Inside the Prophet's mosque, Charles sat shoulder to shoulder with ordinary people. Workers, elders, children, no hierarchy, no separation. One scholar later said, the king kept repeating, "There's peace here, not negotiated peace, felt peace." One evening, he helped distribute food to pilgrims. No guards, no recognition, just another man saying, "Peace be upon you." And maybe, for the first time in his life, anonymity felt like freedom. An elderly pilgrim, unaware of who Charles was, laughed when someone tried to explain. "Before God," the man said, "we are all the same." That sentence landed heavier than any royal lesson. Judge Caprio would have called it real justice, the kind you don't appeal, the kind that changes you from the inside. When Charles returned home, the world expected statements. Instead, there was silence. And silence sometimes is the most honest testimony. He walked slower, spoke softer, listened longer. He invited scholars of different faiths, not for politics, but for understanding. He supported humanitarian work quietly, without credit. At night, he read the Quran beside his Bible, not as contradiction, but as continuation. He didn't return converted. He returned changed. Judge Caprio might close this story the way he closes a case, without drama, just truth. It takes courage to face a courtroom, but it takes greater courage to face your own soul. King Charles did that, not beneath chandeliers or crowns, but on marble floors among millions who bowed only to God. This wasn't a royal chapter, it was a human confession. Because faith isn't inherited, it's discovered. And discovery begins where pride ends. No appeal. Case closed.